It is Luke Skywalker Friday evening. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. A question was asked about the topic of enlightened dating. Let's explore that. When we look at Tibetan iconography, and the iconography of the 84 Mahasiddhas, often great luminaries were depicted in sexual congress or tantric union with their partners, with their tantric partners. So, from a certain point of view, there's nothing at all wrong with a loving, respectful, fun, playful, sexual relationship. Nothing wrong with that at all. Quite often, it's not what we do, but how we do it. For instance, the idea of codependency. There is this myth that if we feel that we need people, somehow we are codependent. The fact of the matter is, biologically speaking, humans are not the fastest nor the strongest. We have neither the sharpest fangs nor the longest claws. Our survival has always depended upon two things: the nimbleness of our big old brains and our ability to cooperate. That is why, in addition to a dopamine-oriented reward system, we also have an oxytocin-oriented reward system, the latter which rewards for cooperation, both in every scope, be it vocational, recreational, be it platonic or intimate. But we are wired to cooperate. It's even been taught by some Kagyu lamas that the maiden who offered the Buddha curds when he was an ascetic eventually became his tantric partner. Is that true? I don't know. It's an interesting teaching tool used by some Kagyu lamas. And who can forget the fact that in the Nyingma tradition, the Dhammakaya or Dharmakaya is represented by a Buddha the color of the sky and a Buddha the color of a cloud in tantric union. And the, the Sambhogakaya is depicted by two Buddhas in tantric union, each the color of a cloud. So, sexual union is common within certain circles of Buddhism. Let us explore the idea of enlightenment. Enlightenment is not an absence of emotion, but rather a mastery of a set of tools that we are able to apply spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively, regardless of our circumstance, regardless of what we perceive or emote or intend, regardless of what we think or feel or imagine. We're still able to apply the Buddha's set of techniques, often described as the Eightfold Path. So, in the spirit of cooperation, let me jump back for a second. The sixth fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path is right effort. And from a certain point of view, that describes the phenomena wherein our choices, utterances, and deeds flow from, with the effortless effort of love's centered spontaneity. So instead of overthinking things or being completely scattered, we're in a flow state. And that's ideal. Does that mean in the flow state we'll never experience pain? No, it doesn't. Does that mean in the flow state we're going to please everybody all the time? No, it doesn't. Don't ask me, ask Lao Tzu or the Buddha or the Christ, and they'll say no. A good number of people hated their guts. So, but moving from the flow state makes life much more manageable, including our relationships, be they, once again, political or vocational or recreational or intimate. All our relationships are improved by flowing from centered spontaneity, surfing our Buddha nature, And of course, our Buddha nature refers to our capacity to notice and release and empathize. So with all our decisions, if they can flow from centered spontaneity, that is ideal. And so what'll happen is, as you go through dating, is you'll go through all these interesting emotional adventures, and you'll see quicker than in the past whether someone is compatible with you or not. And this is something that bears exploration. Love is easy. Whether it's platonic love or intimate love, we are wired for love. But compatibility is difficult. And compatibility is the things that we need and the things that someone else's need. Are they in sync, like key and lock or hand and glove? Is there a compatibility? Is there a compatibility? For instance, we all have strengths, we all have weaknesses, and when our strengths are compatible with someone else's weaknesses and someone else's strengths are compatible with our weaknesses, that can be very helpful. But if you have people with the same set of weaknesses and the same set of strengths, that is going to be very, very clunky and not a very beneficial thing. So, for instance, when you start dating someone, if they have a particular set of talents or life skills that you just think are marvelous, and that's a good sign. And if they find your talents and skills to be beneficial, that's a good sign. Because, and this is important, jot this down, if someone does not gaga over your set of strengths and your set of talents, then they are wasted upon them. Similarly, if you are not gaga over someone else's talents and someone else's strengths, then they are wasted on you. And that is a dreadful, horrible, hollow way with which to go through life. I hope this helps. If you have any additional questions, feel free to ask.